Thank you, guys. Sorry. Q&A time. Q&A starts now. A lot of times in our life when we try to do something new or try to improve on something we've been doing for a long time, we look at people that we are impressed with or that we want to emulate and we copy them. So everybody that's doing a vlog on YouTube or that's doing anything like this does a Q&A. So I'm like, let's do a Q&A. I couldn't believe how many questions I got, not only from Twitter, a lot of direct messages on Facebook, some comments and posts, even some direct emails to my Q985 email address, which I thought was awesome. You can always tweet me at PatAsABoy. I'm gonna go Ashley Coffee. Thank you for the question. What is the hardest time you've ever laughed? And I thought, man, that's a really good question. The hardest time I've ever laughed. I mean, I have a job where that's kind of what we do every day is we laugh. So I'm fortunate. I work with really funny people, and I've had a job for 20 years where I've kind of avoided getting a real job, if you know what I mean. So the time that I've laughed the hardest, I'd have to say, and this is gonna sound kind of weird, so follow me on this one. About 10, 15 years ago, my grandfather had a stroke, and you know, he was probably my best friend growing up through, I've said it on the air a lot of times, when I was, you know, overweight, didn't have a lot of friends. My grandparents lived a quarter of a mile from where I grew up, and he was my best friend growing up. And he had had a stroke the night before my wife and I, Amy, moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where my friend Jeff and I were going to do a morning show down there, and he had a stroke, and his life was, and my life was never the same after that night. But that next Christmas, there was still laughter in our house all the time growing up, which was great. Loved my grandparents dearly, and they're both no longer with us. No, I mean, they're dead. They're not even in Omaha. My grandpa had he kind of understood enough to where of what was going on and what we were doing, and he still liked playing pranks on people. So what we did is we hid one of those little remote control fart machines underneath his wheelchair. And my grandma could just hear enough to be dangerous, but she could hear a fart from 10 miles away. I don't care if it was muffled in 97 mattresses, she would hear that fart. He'd wheel around the house and we would follow behind him and go, and she got so mad at him because he was just blowing it all over the house with all this family there. And I tell you, I probably was one of the hardest times I've ever laughed. Is that funny? Stroke funny? Got a question from Brian through Facebook. Question about bringing kids to work. I've mentioned a few times that Bennett and Sophia, Bennett doesn't really care about coming to my work at all. He will maybe when he gets older. Sophia loves coming in. I'm gonna show you why, in my specific case, why it's not necessarily a good idea to bring your kid to work. And watch this real quick. So you'll see right here is a video that I shot of Brent. You know Brent? Okay, so Brent, here's Brent's video, and this is what we shot. I asked him about the first day of camp or whatever. Yeah, okay, so that was it right there. Just asked him a quick question. But now if you notice in the very bottom, watch down here, I'll slow it down for you. Reason number 15, why sometimes it might not be a good idea to bring your kid to work with you. And there's Sophia. One more time. There's Sophia. In theory, yes, it's awesome to bring your kids to work with you. Love the fact that they want to come to work with me. Okay, back to that question, Ashley, that was like the 4th hardest time that I laughed. After I was editing and I saw that, I laughed really hard. And that was Q&A. Tweet me at PatAsABoy. Ugh. Guys, thank you for everything. Thanks for watching all my stupid PatAsABoy videos. I hope you like them. And if this was out of focus, kinda, I'm using a new camera, so, I don't know, sorry.